Morning, today is Tuesday, May 27th, 2025. Present with us is the sheriff's office. Present is Sheriff Tom Grimsrud and Under Sheriff James Everett, along with the commissioners. If we could start off, can I start off with you, Sheriff Grimsrud? What's going on?
It's another day. So we've had some people resign from the sheriff's office. That we're pretty close to having disciplinary action, but they chose to resign. So we're filling those positions. Seems like we're always filling positions. You know what? The more you become educated about what's going on in the county and where we're at financially and stuff, we're doing okay. I mean, we may lose a position this year, may not get cars, but it's still okay. We're still gonna be okay. We have like 3 or 4 vehicles at 150,000 miles, and I told everyone, I said we're gonna use them at least for another year. You know, we may make the shop rich by keeping them, but we're fine. Raises, whether we get raises, whether we get equipment, we'll figure it out.
Any particular department that's affecting those that are quitting? Has it affected your department in any means, like the detention side or the patrol side, or?
You know, it's harder on the patrol side right now because we have 2 in the academy. And the one that we had hired has 0 law enforcement experience. I think his law enforcement experience is watching cops on TV. And I called him and made sure that he turned that on so that he just caught some of the behavior of law enforcement. But he lives in the county. He has relatives that are founded in the county here. He's a former Marine. He did very well in the interview process. So once this last
He's at the
resignation,
academy.
what's that?
He's at the academy.
No,
Oh, no,
no, he'll be on FTO. He'll probably be trained up off FTO by the time he even gets to the academy.
Yeah,
So
he starts on June 9th.
yeah. So we've had fairly good luck with getting people into the academy. Their classes have gone from what, 40 to 80 or something like that.
They moved him back down again because that was a
Okay.
bit too much.
Yeah.
But they have increased their class size. Yeah.
So we've been real fortunate. Whenever we have some spare people, we go in and help with some of the training in there. Like I went in one day to watch scenarios for partner family member assaults as the new officers were going through it. And this has really earned us a place in getting our folks into the academy quicker than some other places have been. So that's been a big plus. And I don't think it hurts to be around that training environment either for some of the deputies. You know, they come back and share that experience, and it gives one a little better view of how things should be happening, you know. So and with that being said, I don't agree with some of the stuff there, but a majority of it is on. It's real basic, super basic. So I know James goes quite a bit and helps with firearms training and the driving course.
No, not yet. Rex did that this past fall. He went down there and helped with that.
We have another deputy, Ben Fox, that we've been using for some investigations now. Trying to break him into that arena. He's super analytical, intelligent, has a mind for solving and being thorough, and great report writing, great testimony. So we have some up and comers that are doing a pretty good job. But overall, unless you guys have something, you know, we're just clicking away with what we have. So one thing I did talk about a while ago was the computers that we have to update on. We have to update our computers off of the old tough
Shane
books.
talked to us about that.
Yeah, we talked to Ginger, and there's a chance that we can do that this budget year. And then we don't have to worry about it in this new budget that we're putting together. You know, we didn't request any cars. We didn't request much of anything other than we cut some training, we cut here and there. We put a little more in one spot just to make the contract with Axon this next year under a 4-year contract with them, so we can maintain and keep the new equipment. So the body cameras. That's about what we have going in the water right now. Besides the union agreement stuff, which I think Ginger wanted to come in, and Kelly. want to come in and visit on that.
They'll be here at 10.
See, that's where
We're
10
gonna
o'clock came
discuss
from.
that.
That's what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Okay.
While we're waiting, I'm just curious, because I know other folks are probably curious, without you giving the actual times and stuff, how far is your schedule's going into? The hours of the morning now?
How far, what?
Coverage for patrol coverage?
Yeah, it ranges from 3 to 4 to 5 in the morning,
Okay.
depending on who's
The-
on the shift.
Yeah, who's on the shift and weekends. I think if I remember correctly, Friday and Saturday nights, we have somebody out till 5 in the morning.
And that's happening down in Whitehall quite a bit and will happen even more in the future. Simply because we have people traveling a distance to get to go to work and really housing is terrible. The one house that did open up down in Whitehall for rent, I agreed that we would not move anybody there. And we can talk about that at a different time. But I wouldn't make anybody move next to what might be a continuous problem on and off duty for them. So. Yeah, generators running all night is one thing. It's all the
Oh,
other stuff
down-
that
right
goes,
down there?
the other stuff
Oh,
that goes with it.
really?
So,
Hasn't changed.
yeah,
Wow. Okay.
That's expensive, running a generator all night.
so is a deposit for the Northwestern, I imagine too. For them folks. If they can even get one.
Yeah,
But it is continually learning for us. And I think the biggest hurdles that we've jumped is how to work with people and have them work for us, and all the personalities and what they all require, you know, exactly what I'm talking about.
personnel's hard.
That's been something, you know, and to help, but when to put the foot down and be like, there's a boundary and you're crossing it, and just kind of calling them on it, and then trying to follow through with the discipline side of things on an even keel, which Kelly helps us out with a lot. You know, we're going this direction with somebody, have we gone that direction with the other people as well? And
Can't
making
pick and
sure-
choose.
making sure that it's all documented, so. It really has been something, you know, Plotkin and Cross are great help. Cross does a ton for us, you know, in the Zerker investigations, he's got a lot of stuff going on in his life, and Plotkin is just he's a sponge. He absorbs and he grows and he puts it to work and very blunt, and I kind of like that. You know, there needs to be some bluntness out in this line of work. A lot of alpha personality running around unchecked.
How are your sergeants working out?
We decided just to have one sergeant.
Oh, you got one now.
Yeah, we're not gonna fill the other one that Piola left from.
Hmm.
It just seems like they're kind of climbing all over each other.
And Plotkin's position from sergeant.
Oh,
So there's two.
oh, yeah. Are we keeping two or we do? we got rid of-
We're keeping
yeah,
one,
Yeah, we're just keeping one, so
but
we got rid of two.
we got rid of two. Yeah.
So, I forget about Falcons.
Yep.
Yeah, we just got two young crew, you know, they're learning, and what I like about some of them is that there's some of them that do things. You need to go step in the room. There's some of them.
No, it's not my office.
No, but you're
I
like,
got my own set of problems.
you're like,
trust me.
you're like, you'll hear me and go, damn, Tom, listen to yourself. But when I sit in the office of the sheriff, I realize that those people that start something and finish it are few and far between. And there's not much coaching between starting it and finishing it. And when they run into something, they ask a question, and then they drive through it and they give you the end result. And typically, and you know this for sure, you don't hear about it because it went to the county attorney's office reviewed it, and it's headed to court. And but with that being said, just developing that and recognizing it, and then how to manage the folks that are struggling a little bit so that they're not insecure with where they're at in the office. It's all very much about a balancing act. And sometimes you just have to be very forward with them, like, no, this is the reason why, you know, assign that to this person because they were good at doing this, and then you'll have your spot, you know, where you find interest and that you're gonna do well and you'll succeed through this area, you know. I struggled, we all struggled in certain areas and we excelled in certain areas and that's just the nature of the game. Just identifying those when they're new in law enforcement and developing those without hurting everybody's feelers tends to be a little difficult.
What are your new deputies? What are they seeing more so that they're running into? I mean, that's keeping them really busy, like PFMAs or DUIs or a little of everything, or more so.
It's kind of a smattering of everything right now with the summer kicking off. Whitehall, you know, there's a lot of suspicious kind of complaints and things like that. Now that summer's here, you get some transients coming through town. You know, this past weekend, you know, we dealt from everything with trespass complaints to people laying on the side of the interstate.
Shots fired.
To shots fired calls up Little Boulder to SAR missions. So we're getting the gambit right now.
We did hire a deputy and he's been with us, Yakubovich,
Yeah.
a month, 2 months
2 months now.
from LCSO. And he's originally from California and everybody loved him up there, but he kind of fell out with some of the administration up there over a private issue. And he interviewed with us and was upfront with us about it, but super intelligent, good worker, quiet, confident, well-spoken when he has to be. So we're really fortunate there. And he even covered in the jail for us
Yeah,
last week. He used to be a jailer for LCSO.
Yeah.
You know, just ready to do whatever. And I asked him over and over again, I said, I have to remind you, we're a much smaller agency. And we used to run behind the LCSO equipment and shit like that, stuff like that, but not so much. We've been forced to update some stuff simply because they don't make it anymore. I'm not digging you.
It happens.
It is what it
It
is.
happened to
Yeah.
me a lot.
Yeah.
And I said, we're not as busy. And that's just the way it is. I mean, we don't have a lot of housing, public housing, is that the right word, in Jefferson County? You know, we aren't responding to those housing areas for complaints of noise or fights or some deals going on. And we just don't suffer some of the problems that LCSO and Butte have, but we suffer some of the folks that travel to commit crimes. You know, that's what we
Joys
do.
of having two interstates.
That's it.
Yeah.
And he recognized that. So I asked him a couple days ago when he was in the jail, I said, how are you doing with everything? He goes, it's family, it's small like a family and I like it. I took him back up into Crystal Creek, a week and a half ago, to show him around McCullen Creek. And we pulled up on a pull off and you can see the Elkhorns off to the east and he takes his camera out and he took a picture and he says, I'm gonna send this to my dad. You won't believe where I get to work. And I was like, right answer, right answer. So we expect good things from him. We're losing Rex back to Raleigh County. We did cover his wages when he went over there for court and we provided his patrol vehicle to travel. Not sure why that came up in the collective bargaining stuff, but we were doing that anyways. But when he went back and I've known Rex since he was 15, he raced motocross with the kids. I've really known him quite well. And he told me straight up, he says, it's just not busy enough here for me. He said, I like getting into calls. I like getting into dangerous calls. I like to. And so he's going back to Raleigh County in 2 days will be his last day. So, and he didn't make that choice until he went back for court. Somehow they sold him a different product when he went back. And so he's going
Everybody's
back to
looking for
Raleigh
people.
County. Yeah. Yeah. We were gonna have the MNOA conference in June, but we're not gonna go to that. We're just too short-handed. I don't see us being able to
How's
get out.
your reserve program working out now?
We have a reserve program.
What I was wondering. My
So,
next question would have
so we have 2 or 3
been, oh, wow.
that come out to work. Francine's been covering shifts, actually. There's a meeting right now.
Francine, Ryan Murray.
Ryan Murray's been covering shifts. And Ryan had to quit us because of a medical issue that they found with his back after wearing all the heavy equipment. Really don't want to discuss that during a public meeting, but but it was severe enough that having it on for long periods of time caused him some real grief, so. But yeah, losing Rex is a hit because, good with people. Knows people in the area because he's originally from Helena. Knows a lot of folks in Whitehall actually, from, the racing days, the Strelzies, newbies, the Arnts. But when they're young like that and they wanna go out and ride DUIs and they wanna go out to domestics and they wanna go out and chase and it's not there, they drive around all night wondering what to do with themselves, so it is what it is. We just move on.
Only reason I asked Sheriff is because, are you guys gonna be able to do campground checks this year?
I was up doing them this weekend,
You were up down about, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I asked.
Yeah. and then I think somebody was up, I read somewhere, well, you did some,
I went over to Lewis and Clark Caverns campground.
yeah,
I was gonna go up Little Boulder to do campground checks, but I ended up getting called up there for an
yeah.
actual call for service, so.
We had Kyle stick a light bar on the old light bar that we had in the Connex on the side by side, so we had a little more lighting and he's almost done with that. He put a siren on it, one of our control box, and we put a gun rack in it
Oh,
that
nice.
he's finishing up. And whether or not the reserves do whatever, I'm on the verge of ending that program, except for a couple people that are active in it, that's where I struggle. I guess basically the bottom line is it may be a lot less members in about 30 days. And it may be a very basic core group of folks that actually come out to work and we'll put in some time. So we never have to ask them more than once. They're willing to do it. So that's where that's at. But in the meantime, the deputies and myself and James are gonna cover the campground checks. So,
Is, LEOs from the Forest Service, are they good with you? Are
oh
they
yeah,
Interacting right now?
oh yeah,
They're available, I guess is what I'm asking.
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good, good.
They have one out of Butte, one out of Whitehall, and then Nick Schultz.
Yeah,
Are they both out of Butte?
I think both are living in Butte and Nick
Okay.
Schultz lives in Montana
picked
City,
up another
but
one.
they're very active in Jefferson County.
Yeah,
Good, good.
and specifically
Good.
Delmo.
And
Yes,
yeah.
the shooting incident I had up Little Boulder, he came out and he was already working, but he came down to help and help address that at 1:30 in the morning.
Hmm.
So, yeah, they've been very
Good.
Johnny on the spot.
Yeah, so, and then ICE came through a couple weeks ago with what they're doing, and you talk about being short staffed. They got 6 of them in the state, and that includes their boss. And 2 or 3 in Great Falls, and then 2 in Helena. And the only place right now that they can process any people that they detain is in Rigby, Idaho, at Jefferson County.
Hmm.
A smaller than our agency.
Hmm.
And then from there, they are shipped to whatever detention center they're gonna ship them to. And 2 people have to travel during that detention, so
I
they're
work there, I know.
way out in left or right
Travel
field.
me to death.
They're way out in left and right field. They're super short-handed, so the only time that we're gonna have problems if we have a real large incident, like a fire, because right now we don't have a lot of folks. So we'd need to reach out if we had a fire or something like that go on, or we had a large mass incident. Other than that, each year I view it a little bit differently, a little less excited. Because there's only so much I can do, or that
Talking
James
about
can
that.
do.
How's your inmate staffing right now? Are you pretty full?
So let's talk about that. We are not, and that's on purpose.
Okay.
Right now, we're being slaughtered by the cost of medical for the inmates. It's terrible. Thousands of dollars. I'm sure you guys see it go through here. And we don't get reimbursed for that. Those
Right.
costs outweigh what we're being paid for housing them. We had Mike go on some days off. He's had some family stuff going on, plus he needed some time. So with him going and us being short a sergeant, we lowered the inmate population. We didn't bring in any DOCs. We didn't hold anybody but felonies. So we had 6 or 7 or 8 in there at that time.
I think that's 7.
Everybody's so new in that jail too, trying to express to them that that's the greatest liability of the sheriff's office is difficult. You know, we had an inmate take a razor last week and then say she didn't get one, and the guy gave her a second one, and then tracked down that first one. Required us to take her to a body scan up in Helena to make sure it wasn't someplace it wasn't supposed to be, and call out a deputy to do the search. So, you know, we had female contact. But we are hiring back Bree Stolik. And we're hiring her back as a sergeant. Bree's worked for LCSO. Reason she left was money, but the sergeant's position pays a couple bucks more an hour. And she's a solid worker. If we can just keep her, she says that the wage fits for her.
Yep.
And she was looking at the prison coming in, but with the wage that we could supply, she said she'd retire with Jefferson County, given the opportunity. So I guess we'll see where that goes. But I see her being on the same page, even more so with Mike Hecht than anybody else has been, you know, since Erica stuff. So, but the jail, yeah, the food's expensive, the meds are expensive. So right now, until the new budget year rolls around and the guys get a little more time on, we'd like to keep the inmate population a little bit lower.
Yeah, we're just on felony status on that.
How's your dispatch looking?
Good.
Is it?
Those folks are doing a great job.
You're fully staffed?
There was only one position because Jeremiah left.
Oh, that's right.
But even short staff, they're a good group. Like they're solid. Some of them, one of them's a little handful to supervise, but no, they get the job done. So
Good.
I think dispatch, as far as I've seen, has been going better than I've ever seen it go.
Been a long road to get there.
Get there. There's never a there, bro.
At least you're chilling now.
There
It
you
was
go.
Pretty
Yeah.
exciting for a
Yeah.
while. It's like, what are we
Yeah.
gonna do?
So. I know that there was a lot of conflict, subbing people in. Between retirements, and I stepped back from that because I realized what kind of stress I was causing people and that it's illegal. So we were using SRS people to work in. Yeah,
Yeah.
so. We're trying definitely not to do that, and then if it comes down to something like that, a phone call. So,
You can do that under certain circumstances, but you have to pay them. You can't pay them, you can't pay this, you can't pay them that. It's.
yeah, it's a mess.
Mhm.
So we're just trying to stay away from it.
Lots of rules. And that's not your guys' fault, that's the legislature, the law, and
Montana law, yep.
they've been fighting. They've been fighting for that for years.
Oh, thank you. I know, I was like, sorry. Should brought glasses.
Anything else, commissioners?
No.
Or sheriff or under sheriff?
No, sir.
That's it.
Yeah, I got Bears ordering some new speed signs.
They've already got them.
They've already
They're
got,
already up.
oh, they're already up. No, that, the one up Corbin is the city.
That's from the city.
Oh,
But he ordered something like that, but those give him data, like how
They all
fast the
do.
car's going, how.
they all do, even the ones behind our office.
Oh, they did that too? Oh, nice. So the one, yeah. We're gonna try to use them on some of our roads that we keep getting complaints about speeders, so we can.
Put one on McClellan.
Yeah, we probably will, anywhere we.
There'll be one up there, I'm sure.
So if you guys get a call about speeders, just let the callers know that sheriff's office trying to prioritize the calls that come in. And that we recognize that there's a problem, and we'll try to address it.
Well, if we can get real data, that helps, you know, just, you know, we can look at that road and say, hey,
Sure,
it's-
people are pulling along. I don't think it's as fast as what people think up on Corbin. It really isn't. When I,
well, Corbin's not for the speed, Corbin's for the traffic count,
Oh,
that's why we have it up.
Oh, yeah.
And
gotcha.
not that they're not speeding up there,
People drive fast down.
that's not.
Oh, shit. McClellan.
Bomb.
Rock
We
Ridge,
get on this one then?
Holmes Gulch.
It's nuts.
No, it's not just McClellan.
Conclude it then.
It's-